and it's going to let you know that when it starts, time starts, it starts until you run out of time, and then the test is submitted. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. So the very first question it gives us is, it says, which tool is used to produce the view of part A shown in B? I'm going to say that that is a broken out section. And I'm going to hit enter. And then down here we have to change the scale. I'm going to put that there. And then we're going to have drafting standards, change the drafting standards. Go to options. I'm going to say go to options and document properties. And then we're going to go to the next one. And then here we're going to be given a blueprint. So this is where I'm going to start at. For the rest of my test, I have some global variables that I need to submit. So let's see what I have here. And this is what is going on here. Okay, there we go. So I have 50, 10, and B plus 20. All right. That's B plus 20. Make sure that that's all correct. 50, 10, and B plus 20. 50, 10, B plus 20. Okay, we're good to go. I'm going to open my sketch in the front plane. I'm not going to do a lot of talking in this, explaining what I'm doing, but I will. You're going to hear me talking to myself a little bit as I draw this out. So kind of how I go about performing this. And look and see what we have to do here. All right. Come on. There we go. Go ahead and start dimensioning a few things here. All right, looks like I have a fully defined sketch. And then there's two different ways I can go about doing this feature. I can draw this feature in here, which is what I'm going to do this time. So I'm going to go ahead and do the offset, which is a 5 there. So we'll say offset. We'll change that to 5 right there. And then I'm just going to go through and change everything right there. And I'll say there. And then right here. And what is that? 15 across, and we have a radius of 5 in there. Okay. So we have to do 15 right here. I'm going to trim some stuff out real quick. Stuff that we don't need. We have that circular sketch. And then we got to do a fillet of 5 right there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Right there. Make sure that is correct. And then I have to do a radius of 8 in 2 places. So let's go ahead and knock that out. Excuse me. I have a cat that is being exceptionally needy today. Apparently the dogs are not giving her enough attention. All right, so let's go do that. Have everything. We have an underdefined sketch right now. So let's find out what it's going to add. It looks like everything is good. Well, let's find out what's going on here. Why? And this is one of the problems when you do something like this. All right, so I tell you what. Here's what we're going to do today. So, and oh, I had a line there. That's what was killing me. That is what was killing me there. Now we're fully defined. So let's go back in here and try that again. Offset, we're going to make that 5. It shouldn't have had that issue. And then we'll go back in here. And okay. And then we'll trim everything out that needs to come out. Like so. And then we had a radius of 5 in there. All right, so let's do a fillet. Make that 5. And all right, so if you have your relations on and they're kind of getting in the way, you can always turn them off right here. So that's what I'm going to do for right now. I have a fully defined sketch and I need to extrude that to 40 millimeters. So come over here, we're doing extrude base boss. I'm going to do that away from me. I am only going to pick that right there. Oops. And I need to make that 40, not 10. We got that there. And then we're going to do an extrude cut real quick. And we're going to use the sketch, but we're going to do that one right there. And this one is going to be blind. and it is going to be 8 millimeters, because I believe that is what it said for a depth, 8 millimeters. And then what we're going to do here, we're not going to do the sketch. We're going to delete that, but we are going to do that. All right, so we have that sketch already done. We just have to add some holes, and we're going to be good to go. All right, so now I'll go into the top plane. I am going to do a center line from here. And then what I can do is I can dimension that. I believe that was 64. We'll go back and look at it real quick. 64 millimeters. All right. The only thing we have left to do is we have to do this right there. And then we have to do one right here. All right, so let's go ahead and dimension this. This is going to be equal to C. Right there. And then this one is going to be equal to B times 2. We should get our little global variable symbol right there. And looks like we got what we need. So let's go ahead and do an extruded cut. We're going to do it through all. And then we'll change the direction. And voila, we're done. I think we have everything in there for the first sketch that we need. So we need to find out what our weights are. And we will go from there. All right. So let's see what our answers are. We're going to have to be one of these 4 right here. So let's go ahead and go to our evaluate and mass properties. We're in millimeters, grams. And oops, no, almost got ahead of myself there, didn't I? We got to put 1060 alloy. So let's go ahead and put our material in there. Actually, I think that was already in 1060 alloy. There we go. So let's try that again. 345.95 for the mass in grams. And we have 345.94. That is well within our 1%, so that's what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next question. And then we have some changes that we need to make. So let's go ahead and make our changes. So we have 50, 15, and B plus 20. So we'll go back into our global equations here. We're going to manage this, and it's 50, 15, and B plus 20. All right. 50 and 15 and B plus 20. So everything else there looks good. It looks like. Yeah, 50, 15, and B plus 20. So let's go ahead and start making our changes. First one is our extruded cut here is now a 3 millimeter depth, which is this one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and change that to 3 millimeters there. And then we've got to change these radiuses to 10 and those to 8. So let's go ahead and do that. And ten. And then we got to do these radiuses to 8. If I remember correctly, let's look at that, make sure that we are good. Radius of 8. We got to change that to 15. So, 25. I believe is what that was supposed to be. Yep, 25. We have a radius of 8. So radius of 8, we have 25, and then we got to do our cut up here, which is going to be, okay. All right, so that looks good. We can go ahead and exit out of that. And I'm going to do this from the top plane, right here. And I am just going to start from here. I'm going to find my midpoint line. And then I'm going to come over here, like so. And then what I will do is I'm going to make these two lines vertical to each other. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw this in through here, like so. Then I'm going to go ahead and dimension this to 20, which is going to close all of that in. Close out of there, close out of there. Look at this, make sure that looks good. And then we're going to do an extruded cut. I'm going to go through all, and I'm going to pick my sketch here. I'm going to pick this one and this one. Change my direction. And it looks like we have everything that we need. Everything looks good. So let's go ahead and go down here. We're going to be asked to put our weight in grams in. So let's find out what those grams are. And 273.14, huh? All right. $273. All right, I think I'm missing something. Go back and look at this real quick. Ah, I am. I didn't put that hole in here. I got to put this hole right here. That almost made me completely mess up my exam. So, no. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this in here like so. And 45 and 15 and 10. 45, 15, and 10. All right, so let's go 45, 15, and 10. All right, that is going to be an extrude cut. It's going to go through all. All right, now let's try that. I knew something wasn't quite right with that. 271.68. All right. Let's put that in there. So remember on the test, 271.68, if you are within 1% of the actual answer, you will be counted as correct on there. And then now we have to go into a new sketch. All right, so one of the things that I did not do, and I recommend when I completed the first sketch, I should have saved that as a its own question, and then save the updated one as a second question. That way, if you run into any issues, you can always go back and make changes as necessary. Okay, so just a friendly reminder to do that. 2, 3, 4, and that would have been 5. And we're going to say, yep. All right, so let's look at this. We're on question 6 right now. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of there. And go ahead and save this. We're going to do another part. And I'm going to do this in the front plane. And we will go in here and set up our global variables. So our very first one is going to be A. And let's see what we have to do here. So we have 50, 30, and 35. All right, so 50. 30. 35. Then we have D. Arrow over. Find out what D is. D is A times 4. All right, so here we'll say A times 4. Arrow over, and we are now good. So what I will do is I'm going to come in here. I'm going to set this up for me to go ahead and get all that done. And right there, make that a construction line, and go back in here and look at this real quick. So this is equal to A. All right, so equal to A. And this is going to be equal to D divided by 2. Say right there. Now I can begin sketching. So let's see here. We have half of B and then 15 degrees and 25. All right, so let's go ahead and start sketching. All right, so I'm just taking a wild guess here at this. So right here, and come over to about here. We'll go up to about 25 from here. Go with a slight angle here. I'm going to come in here and we're going to do our radius right here and say okay. And then I'm going to dimension this. This is going to be equal to B divided by 2. We had 15. 15 degrees. That is going to be 25. Right there. And I believe we had a distance in here. We did right there. So the distance, let me check that again. Make sure I'm getting the right one. Yep, right there. It's going to be 20. All right, so here to here is going to be equal to A divided by 2. Right there. And then we can dimension that. That's going to be equal to C. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make this and this coincident. Oh, you're not going to let me now, huh? All right, no problem. We'll go ahead and get rid of that, and then we'll make you coincident now, like so. And then we will go ahead and say that you are equal to C. All right, so let's see. Okay, so let's do, I know what the problem is here. So let's see here. We are going to make that horizontal, and then when you do that, that really screws everything all up. Right there. So let's go ahead and delete you then. We're going to delete your coincident. Like so. We have everything in there that we need to have. So let's come back in here. All right, so we'll do you and you as horizontal. And then we can do you as coincident. That's not going to work the way we want it to. So why? What do I have dimensioned in here? Incorrect. I don't think I do. 25, 15. That's right. All right. I don't think. So let's see here. All right. I'm going to make you equal to C. All right, so let's see what we have to get out of here. Let's see now. Do you equal to C? Okay. And then, oops. Let's do it like so. Once I get out of the smart dimension, let's make you horizontal. Okay. And then what we shall do is we will say that we are going to dimension you. Oh, why do we have... Why do we have... We should not be fully defined right now. So let's look at our relations, because I'm pretty sure I added a relation. Aha, that's why. That is why we keep getting this error. Good, googly, zoogly. All right, so let's make you equal to now A divided by 2. And now we have a fully defined sketch. We have everything that we need to have in there. So let's go ahead and do a mirror. And I'm going to select all of this. I'm going to mirror that across there. I have an underdefined sketch, but we're going to fix that because so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an offset, and I believe that says 7 millimeters. So we're going to do that. Offset of, oh, come on, 7 millimeters. let's start selecting what we need to select here. Right there. Good to go. Then we'll go ahead and close it in our sketch. Like so. We still have a fully defined sketch, so now we can go ahead and do a revolve base boss, and axis of revolution is going to be there. I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to hide this sketch like so. And then let's go back in here and look and see what we got. So we got to do a radius of 5 on there, so we'll go ahead and fillet that to 5 millimeters. That's so, and then we'll pick that, and we'll pick that, and that's good. And then we have to put a series of holes in here. So let's go ahead and open a sketch. So the radius of that has to be C, and we have 5 10-millimeter holes. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a circle, and I'm just going to draw it out to about there. I'm going to make sure that it is for construction, and then I'm going to go ahead and dimension that. So we'll say that it is equal to C times 2, and we're good to go. We'll do our first sketch here. That's going to be here. Dimension that to 10, diameter of 10. As so. And then we're going to do a extrude cut. I'm going to say through all. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a circular sketch pattern on here. And I'm going to use a circle. And I'm going to put 5 in there. And I'm good to go. And then we have to do brass, I believe it was. We have everything else in there. We do. It's brass. So let's go ahead and put our material in here, which is brass. We'll go ahead and save this as, what is this, question 6, before we get too far. So we'll say six. Yep. All right. So now let's go ahead and do evaluate. Let's do our mass properties. Our mass properties are 5,010 grams, 0.96. So let's see what options we have here. We do have 5,010 grams, 0.96. So let's go ahead and pick that answer right there. And we will move on to the next one. All right, so we have to change some of our global values. We have, I'm going to save this as question 7. So save. And you'll see that I've already done this before. I am re-recording the video. All right, so let's see here. Let's go ahead and go into our equations. Let's make our changes to it. And they are 45, 20, and 30. So let's go 45, 20, and 30. Make sure that's correct. 45, 20, and 30. A times 4. C minus 10. All right, so we got to do an E. Tab over, and we're going to do C minus 10. Oops, I put times. That's definitely not what we want. Right there. And tab over. That takes that in there. And we need to be in the right plane to do this. Next one, so let's look up here and see what we have to do. So this radius here changes to a 2. And let's go ahead and go into our here. I'm already in a sketch, so let me get out of here real quick. And we have, so that's going to change to a 2. All right, so that changes that, and then we have a circular sketch pattern that we need to change to 4. All right, so that's done. And offsets are still the same. V, all of that's the same. The only thing that we have to do is add these in here. So let's go ahead and do that. So we have a radius of 2.5 and a radius of 5 with 20 degrees. So let's go back in. We're going to go into our right plane and open a sketch. And I'm going to do a construction line to here. And then I'll do another construction line to here. And then we'll go ahead and dimension this. This was 85 millimeters, like so. We have 20 degrees. And then this one and this one is equal to E, like so. All right, so now let's go ahead and do our circles. We had a radius of 5 and then a radius of 10, like so. And I can already see a problem with this sketch. So the diameter of that is going to be 5, and the diameter of that is going to be 10. So you can see here we have a little bit of an issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into this sketch, and I'm going to see what's changed here. And it looks like under our new one, we should have had a radius be 45. See what changed here. So that's 45. That's 45. Cross there. And let's see something. We have a fully defined sketch, but that should be 90, if I remember correctly. So let's go ahead and take that out. And then we're just going to dimension that, and it's going to be equal to D divided by 2, like so. All right, go ahead and exit out of there. Go back into our original sketch. Now that looks right. All right, so now I'm just going to draw a couple little lines in here. And let's go ahead and get these set up. I'm going to make that tangent. Go ahead and make that tangent. Tangent. And tangent. Okay. And then we can come in here to our trim entity and start trimming out anything that we don't need. so. That looks good. So let's go ahead and do an extruded cut. We're going to say through all both, like so. And then we're going to do a circular sketch pattern. We're going to go ahead and select that. And we're going to say that that's going to be 15. Because I believe that was the number that I saw in there before. Yep, times 15. Like so. That looks good. I don't think we have any other changes that we need to make to this. Everything looks good. So let's go in here and do our mass properties. And we are sitting at, it looks like a good number. It looks like a good number. So we're going to go ahead. What do we have here? 3198.94. All right. Okay. Keyboard's acting a little slow, 3198.94. And we're going to say OK. All right, so now we have an assembly. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of here. And we'll go ahead and save that. And we'll close it out. Do a new one. We're going to do an assembly. And then what we can do here is in the test, they're going to give you the ability to download each of the parts. So we can download all of those like so. And they're all in there. And then we can come back in here and make this happen. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to download the base, because in there it shows, if you look at it, that we have a coordinate system on the base, so that should be fixed on there. And then I'm going to come back in here in my assembly. I'm going to insert a component, and I'm going to do the crankshaft. And then I need to rotate that. And that looks like that's going to be what we need. Like so. I'm going to put that in there. And then here I am going to go ahead and do the piston rod. And here I'm going to change that around like so. And then we'll do a piston head next. I'll drag that in there, and that looks good. All right, so I need to make some copies of this. So if I hold Control and I grab that, and then I grab that, I can make the copies that I need. There we go, like so. All right, so now we're ready to start doing some mates, so let's jump into it. If this is supposed to be concentric and coincident, and then as are the pistons, heads, and the rods, and the piston journal here, and the piston rod. So let's go ahead and get that started. So we're going to do this one first, and then I'm going to do that, make sure that it says concentric. I'll do my face in here, make sure that's coincident. And then we'll do here, it's concentric. And then we'll do that face. There we go. That's coincident. Let's do that. That. It's concentric. And then, all right, so we got to do, let's clear that. I'm going to move that back. Then let's go ahead and select our faces here. Right there, it's coincident. Right here, that's concentric. And then we will need to slide that back just a little bit so we can select our faces. Like so. Okay. Coincident. That's good. And let's zoom back in here. Let's go ahead. Coincident or concentric. And then coincident. And then we're going to do the same thing here. Coincident. Concentric. And concentric. Coincident. All right, so we got a few other things that we got to do, some more mates. So let's look at what we have. We got to make the front plane of the base and the pistons all coincident to each other. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to select my base. I'll select the front plane, and then I'm going to find my first piston head, which is going to be that one. I'm making it coincident. And then I'm going to go back here, pick my front plane for the base, and I need to do my next piston head here, which is that one, which is also coincident. And then back to the front plane of our base, and do that one, and then we have this piston head here, which is also going to be coincident. That's good. And then we'll do here, and I believe I saw a parallel in there. Yep, top of the head and right here are going to be parallel. So let's make those parallel to each other. That's clicked. That's locked in. And then now we have to do a coordinate system. So let's go ahead and look at what we have here. We have our Y going up, we have our X going this way, and our Z going that way. So let's go ahead and go to our reference geometry. We're going to do a coordinate system. We're going to pick the point at which it's going to go. And then we're going to say our X-axis is going to be in line with that. And our Y-axis is going to be in line with that. And then I can say that my Z-axis will be in line with that. And then change the direction as so. And let's go ahead and see what we wind up with in our mass properties. So here you want to make sure that you select the coordinate system that you put in. And right now I can tell you that something is wrong with this based off of what we have right here. The X equals negative 28. If I go over here into our answers right here, I can see that one of these two right here would be the most logical answer, but we are definitely have something wrong. And this is one of the finicky things about SolidWorks that I do not like. So let's see if we can fix this and figure out where our problem lies. Oh, I know why we're off. Good googly zoogly. I am just, being all kinds of messed up today. All right, so here we go. One mate we didn't do, and I forgot about that, is we have to set this to 45 degrees. So let's go ahead and make that mate right here. And we're not going to do the face, so I'm going to clear that. I'm going to clear that line, and I'm going to use this line, and I'm going to make it an angle, and I'll make it 45 degrees, and I'll hit my green check mark. And then I'll exit out, and let's go back in here to evaluate and see where that actually puts us. So we have on here, I'm going to go ahead and minimize this so that we can look at that. So we have negative 25.85, we have x negative 25.85, we have y as being 113.54, and we have z as being equal to 173.53. Right there, that is our answer, so that's what we're going to go with. All right. I like it when we're cooking with gasoline. So let's go ahead and go. We have our answer selected, and then we got to make a change to 135. So I'm going to go ahead and save this as assembly 1, and I'm going to call it Q1 because that was it, and I'm going to do that to the desktop like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to look at our mates. We'll look at changing this, and we're going to make it 135 like so. We'll hit our green check mark. We'll come back over here to evaluate, and then you see that this stayed the same, the x stayed the same, the z stayed the same, but the y did not. So let's go ahead and minimize that so that we can put in our answers. So x is going to be negative 25.8, negative, my keyboard, 25.85, right? And then we're going to be 104.75, and then 173.53. So I think that looks good. We'll go ahead and hit our next one, and then we are moving into another assembly. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that. I'm going to save this as question 2 for our assembly, like so. And then I'm going to close that out. We'll open up another assembly. And what we're going to do here is we're going to come down here. We're going to look at this. So we have coincidences for here and here. We have concentrics for here, here, and here, along with coincidences for here, a concentric for here and here. And then it gives us, in the next one, a distance of 20 millimeters. So let's go ahead like this. We're going to go ahead and download these. Did I do that? Mount and piston. All right. So we got all those. Let's go back in here. And we're going to go here. We'll go to our downloads, and we have the mount. So remember, anytime that we bring something in, the first part that we bring in is always going to be fixed. We can go back in there and change that if we have to. All right, so assembly, insert next component. We have the A-frame, like so. That's going to be good. And then we have a cylinder here. And then we have a piston here. All right, so all that looks good. And then what we're going to start doing here is we're going to go ahead and start making some mates. So what I will do right now is I am going to go ahead and select that. And I'm going to make it concentric to that. And then I will make it coincident to that face right there. And then I'm going to make that and that concentric. And then we'll make this face and that face coincident. All right, so now what I need to do, though, is I got to bring this over. And then I'm going to bring this over here. And then we have to set let's make these concentric for right now, because we know that that has to be concentric. We'll do that, but then we'll slide it out a little bit here. And let's look back at this. We have to do a distance of 20 millimeters. So we're going to do a distant mate. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that in here. And we'll say right there. And right there. We're going to give it a distance. And we're going to say 20 millimeters. Because I'm pretty sure that's what that was, if I remember. Yep. All right, we'll hit our green check mark. And then what we're going to do is we'll select that face. And that face, we're going to make it concentric. And then we will do this face and that face as coincident. All right, so now it looks like we got everything that we need to have. So let's see. Let's go ahead and make that like so. And we need to take a measurement of this right here to here and see what we come up with. So we'll go into evaluate. We're going to go to measure. And then we're going to pick that. And it's always so finicky. All right, so our distance in the drawing, they call it X, but here we have it as Y because it doesn't tell us to set a global coordinate. So we have 48.36. Let's see if we have one. We do, 48.36. So that's what I'm going to select as 48.36. And I'm going to go to my next question. And then I have to make another mate. Here, the distance is going to be 5. So we'll just come in here. I'm going to save this as assembly 2. And I'm going to call it Q1. Save. And then I would save this as assembly 2, Q2. Right there. And then I'm going to come in here to mates for the distance. And I'm going to change that distance to 5 millimeters. Hit my green check mark. Exit out of there. We'll go back to measure. And then we're going to measure this. So what... Did it get it? Yeah, we did there. Right there. So we have 20.15. So let's come back in here. We'll say 20.15. And we'll go on to our next question. All right, so we've saved it. Wait a minute. What happened? 20.15. Did I not save the previous one? I thought I had. I had to have. It's saved, and let's go into our next one. All right. That's a little weird. All right, so this is going to be saved, and we're going to go into a new sketch. Exit out of there. Go ahead and do a new part. And let's look and see what we have here. So we got some global variables. We've got to put in 40, 120, and 20. So let's go ahead and put that in there real quick. Like so. Okay, that's 40. 120. And what was that one? I forgot. 20. Then we have D. And that was B divided by 4. And I think the last one was C divided by 2. Yep. All right, so D, E, and go here, and C divided by 2. All right, so we have everything in there. Let's make sure they're all right. 41, 20, 20, B. Yep, we have everything in there that we need. So we'll hit OK. I'm going to look at our sketch right here, and I'm just going to look at this. We've got a length of B and a width of 40. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get that started. So what I will do here is I'm just going to draw this in the top plane. Starting out, I'm going to do a couple center lines right here, and we'll go here, and we'll go here, and we will select what we need to do. So we have, that's B. All right, so we are going to do this as equal to B divided by 2, like here, and do that. And then, then we have a width of 40, so we're going to say that that is going to be 20, right there. All right. And then, so D, all right, so what we'll do here is we're going to go ahead and start drawing right here. And I'm just kind of guesstimating, folks. I'm not right here. I'm going to do a series of mirrors on this. So D divided by 2 for this one. Let's go ahead and sketch that one. And we're going to say it's equal to D divided by 2, right there. And then once we dimension that one, and what is the width of that? It is equal to C. So here we would do this, and we say equal to C divided by 2, right there. We have everything locked in that we need. So let's go ahead and do a series of mirrors. So we'll go ahead and mirror that, and that. We're going to mirror about that here, and then we'll do one more mirror, and here, and we'll mirror about this axis. All right, so we have a fully defined sketch still, and we're going to extrude this to 40 plus C plus 40. So we'll just do that right there. I'm going to do an extrude. I want to extrude it away from me. And then I'm going to say that this is equal to C plus 40. Right there. All right. Look at there. So let's go ahead and do a sketch on this side now. We'll look at our blueprint. So, all right, 40, 45, and then we have that, which is going to be equal to A. All right. So let's go ahead and start drawing. Right here. And we're just going to do this right here, like so. And then we have another one that's going to come up here. We're going to come over here and down to here. All right. And then I actually should have drawn one here to here to close that sketch out. So let's dimension this one from here to here is going to be equal to A. Right there. And then this one is going to be dimensioned from here to here, and that is going to be equal to C. Yep, got that in there right. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and mirror this, this, and this. We'll mirror about our front plane right there. So we've got all of our sketches in there. And now we can do an extruded cut. We're going to say through all both. We have everything going right there. So now we're done with that. And then the only thing that we have left now is we have to put this in here. So measurements are from the back side and from the bottom side. So, and it is E. All right, so we're going to go ahead and open a sketch here. I'm going to go ahead and do a drawing here, like so. And that is equal to C. Ooh, no, it's not. What did I do? What did I do? C divided by 2. Ha ha ha. Look at that. Let's get rid of that and do that again. It's equal to C divided by 2, like so. And then we have some dimensioning that we have to do. So we have to be here, which is going to be equal to C divided by 2. And then we have to do from the back side here to here, which is also going to be equal to C divided by 2. Right there. And then we have to extrude it, and it's going to extrude to a length of C. So we've got that in there. Let's go ahead and do an extrude boss base. We're going to say that that is equal to C. Right, so, and then we're going to go ahead and mirror that feature. And I believe that was a front plane. And we're good to go there. And then now we can go ahead and go to our top plane. And let's see what we got to do here. So we've got to do swings 18 and midpoint 35. All right, so. All right. So if I do a center line from here, nope, not going to do it there. We're going to do a center line here to here. And then we'll do a midpoint line right here. And we're going to come up to about here, like so. And oops, let's get out of there. I thought I made that for construction. Let's go ahead and dimension everything. So that's going to be equal to 18. And then this is going to be equal to 35. If I remember correctly, 1835. All right, so then we got to do 2 holes that are 5 millimeters. So let's go ahead and draw those out here and here. We'll make those equal to each other. And then this one's going to be a diameter of 5 right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do an offset of 2 millimeters. I'm pretty sure that's what that said. Yep, got an offset of 2 millimeters. So we'll do an offset and an offset right there. And then we got some lines that we got to draw. So we'll do one here, like so. And then we'll do another one from here. And then we'll do one more from here, like so. All right. So let's go ahead and get, that's going to be tangent. And that is going to be tangent. That one's going to be tangent. And that one's going to be tangent. And then we need to make that 45. And that's going to be 45, like so. And then we can add a, do a midpoint line right there. That'll lock all that in there. And then let's go ahead and do all of our trimming. Okay, we have a fully defined sketch and 10 millimeters. So let's go ahead and extrude that to 10 millimeters. Going to be blind right there. Change the direction. That looks good. All right. And then we need to do a radius of 2 millimeters, 2 places. So let's go to our fillet tool, make that 2 millimeters, put that in there, put that in there, that in there, hit our green check mark, so that's in there. We've got a sketch that has to go here. So we're going to make that 24 millimeters in diameter. So let's go ahead and do that. Right here. 24, like so. Let's check our sketch, make sure that we're looking good. We are, and then we're going to do an extrude cut. We'll say through all on that one, through there, and right there. Is there anything else that we need to do? We need to make that a cast alloy steel, but I think we have everything we need. So let's go ahead and add our material. Cast alloy steel. Go to evaluate, do mass properties. So we're at 904.86. Let's see if we have one here. 904.86 right there. So we're good to go. Let's go ahead and do our next one. So we're going to have to do some changes here. So we're on 14. So let's go ahead, exit out of here. I'm going to save this as question 13. question 13. And then I'm going to save as question 14, like so. And then let's go into our global variables here and manage those because there are going to be some changes that we have to make. And all right, so and let's make this, let's see here, 30, 150, and 15. 30, 30, 150, and 15. And then we have B is, or D is B divided by 4, and E is C divided by 2. Those are still correct. So let's go ahead and hit that. Our part should update as a result. Come back in here to the top because we're going to do a sketch in there. And let's see what we have to do. So here, these are all going to be 13 or 3 apart. They got radiuses of 3. And so 3, 15, 15, and 14. All right, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to come in here to offset, and I'm going to make that a 3. And I'm going to hit this line, and that's going in the right direction. And then I'm going to do this line, and that's going to be 15. Green check mark. We'll do this one, which is going to be 3. Check mark. And that one's going to be 15. Check mark. That one's going to be 3. Check mark. And then this one is going to be 14. 14. Yeah, and then we got an offset here, which is going to be 3. And we need to change the direction. And then I got to do another offset here. And we're going to reverse that direction. All right, so let's go ahead and go in here and extend our entities before we start making any other changes. Right to there. Okay, and then we're going to come over here to trim. We're going to start trimming everything out that we don't need. Okay, and then we have to do 3 millimeter radiuses. So we'll go into our fillet tool here. We're going to make all 3 millimeters, and then we're just going to go ahead and start collecting or picking everything. Hit our green check mark. That looks good. Got everything in there that we need. Let's go ahead and do an extruded cut. We're going to say through all. Got that in there. And then we're going to do a mirror of that feature. So front plane right there. We've got that in there. So let's look and see. We've got to change this to a radius of 5. So let's go in here and do this fillet. And that's going to be a radius of 5 right there. And there anything else, still a diameter of 5. We need to change that. It doesn't look like anything else has changed here. So let's go ahead and save. And we still have cast alloy steel. So let's do our mass properties, 51206. So let's go in here. So we'll do 51206. That looks correct. Yeah, 51206. And we're off to the next question. All right, so we got some changes on this one to do. Let's find out what we have to do. Let's go ahead and go in here and see what our global variables are going to change to. All right, 30, 150, and 15. 30, 150, 15, b divided by 4, c divided by 2. So that's going to remain the same. So let's come over here and see what we have to do. So these holes are going to change. Those are going to be 8 millimeters now. So let's go ahead and go into our sketch and change that. So where is right here? So let's go ahead and change this. And these are going to be 8 millimeters, like so. And then we can exit out. I think still 45. It's got a radius of 5. I don't think that changed. Well, we'll check the fillet here just in case. Yep, that's good. So that's good. So what else do we have to do now? So now we have to do, these radiuses are going to be 2, and we have offsets of 5 millimeters, and this last one is going to be 10. So let's do, where is it? Right here. So we got to go into this sketch and we're going to edit it. And what we need to do here is we got to find right here. So what is, it's 5 millimeters. So we're going to change that to 5. All right. And then that's also going to change to 5. And then this is going to change to 5. Like so. And this one is changing to 10. Yeah. And let's see. So that's got to change to 5. And I believe that one also has to change to 5. Like so. And then we had a radius of 2 that goes in there. So a radius of 2. That's all changed. That looks good. Does that look like our sketch? Radius of 2. That looks like what we're supposed to have, yeah? Radius of 2. Okay. 10, 5, 5, 5, 15, 5, 5. That looks good. So let's go ahead and exit out. It's going to make the changes as appropriate right here. And then we have a cut extrude for the hole, which is supposed to be 30. Right there. And then we have holes that have to go in there. And we have this ear. So let's go ahead and mirror the ear. Update that. And then what we're going to do is, while we're in here, or features, we're going to select mirror. And we will find our right plane. And then we're going to find the features that we need to mirror. Oops. Features to mirror right there. So, and it may not let us do the fillet. It doesn't always like to. So we'll delete the fillet and it'll put it in there. And then if we go in here and we look, and it's a radius of 5. So we'll go ahead and do a fillet that has 5 selected already. So we'll do that. And we'll do that. Put that in there. And then what is the thickness is still 10 on that one. And we got to do these two holes. So 8.75 and 5 off the top. Looks like that's going to be a symmetric part. So we'll go ahead and go and open a sketch like so. And we'll do here, here. Let's go ahead and make these equal. And then we'll do these. We'll make them horizontal. And then we can dimension here to here, 8.5, if I remember correctly. 8.75 and then 5. All right, so let's do 8.75 and here. Do 8.75. Okay, and then make that 5. And then what size are these holes? They are 5 millimeter in diameter. So 5 right there. That looks good. So let's go ahead and do an extruded cut. We're going to say through all right there. We got it through because it doesn't say that it, it is through all. So let's see what we have here. So that looks like that's changed as well. So let's go back in here to our original cut extrude. And let's see what that was supposed to be. So here it says it is equal to D. So we're going to change that real quick. And we'll make it equal to D. There we go. Change that. It looks like we have everything now that we're supposed to have. I think we're good. So let's save this. Save as 15. Right there. Let's go to evaluate 670, 635. So 670, 635. Let's make sure we got that right before we do that. 670, 635. 670, 635. Let's go ahead and save and submit. It says that we're done. We used 1 hour and 28 minutes of 3 hours to do this. And let's see what we got wrong. Oh, I got 130 out of 150 points. So let's see which one it said, which is more than passing for the exam. Let's see what it said that I did wrong. That one, oh. Oh, I didn't do that hole in there, did I? I most certainly did not, and that's why I failed that. I did not get that one right, but we got everything else. It looks like right. Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Oh, wow, I got 2 wrong. And I got this one out of tolerance somehow, so I'm not sure how. So let's see something here. Okay, so yeah, that's an 87% on that, which is more than passing, but I would be very upset with myself for getting the sketch wrong right here, because I should not have got that wrong at all. And I think that's probably why right there. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you later.